What is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell. Welcome back to Rap Talk. And today, I want to kind of talk about this whole Melle Mel situation where he's saying that Ja Rule essentially copied 50. And now Ja Rule came out and refuted all that, saying, nah, like, I'm the blueprint. 50 copied me. Now, right off the jump, I'm going to tell you that I don't think 50 copied Ja Rule. I don't think Ja Rule copied 50. Like, I don't think that happened at all. I've been sitting back doing a lot of research on this because it's always the common thing of like, hey, did this actually happen? Did 50 see Ja Rule coming up and be like, I'm going to target him? And I'm going to say Ja Rule was the guy that took the bait. I say this because we have How to Rob came out like May 1990. I'm probably throwing off the exact month, but came out in 1999, right? So you have 50 calling out a ton of rappers, ton of people. It's like everyone's playing Kumbaya, right? And then 50 comes out with this just very aggressive, upfront, in-your-face diss to a lot of people. And as things play out, as things progress on, 50 will tell you where there was some issue where Ja's chain was robbed and Ja Rule saw 50 and the guy that robbed Ja Rule's chain in the club, and Ja Rule didn't like 50, hanging with this guy, and that's how like the beef started. Ja Rule will say the opposite, where yeah, his chain was robbed by this guy, but that didn't happen. Like, he's saying 50 essentially made the story up to like have some type of end to get at him. Ultimately, I feel like 50 was hungry and wanted out of the situation that he was in. He was willing, as we see with How to Rob, willing to go at anyone to get what he wanted. Now, obviously, 50's working on Power of the Dollar. Ja Rule's working on his first album. That album gets shelved. This is literally 1999. Like, they're working on the album. 50's album's going to be coming out the same year as Ja, but of course, Ja Rule album gets put out there. 50's album gets pushed to 2000. And this is where I want to kind of debate or push against that whole, 50 came, demolished Ja Rule's career just to look and sound like him. Because if you look at the Power of Dollar soundtrack, you have Thug Love, which is a song that features Beyonce. And I don't really think the thing back then, and it still happens to this day, you needed to have, like, in the mix of your, aggressive, popular songs, whatever, you needed to have songs for the women. Like, it was like a common thing for the last, I don't know, from like 2000s on to like maybe 2010, maybe even past that 2013. Like, it was a common thing where if you're a rapper, you need to have like one or two songs that are going to be for the women for them to like listen to on the radio, or these radio singles. And everyone likes to say, okay, you have 50 coming out with 21 Questions. 50 has said that was inspired by LL Cool J. I feel like the only similarities that Ja Rule and 50 share is that they're from the same neighborhood. Outside of that, Ja Rule was rocking with Preem and them. 50 was rocking over with his guys. He banging with Smurf. The other people he was setting up his clique with, Yayo. And they just, it wasn't mixing. Like, 50 was like, nah, we're not listening to these old OGs. 50's sitting here setting up his own group. They're pushing, doing whatever they want, starting to try to get into this music industry. And I think it's completely separate than what was happening with Ja Rule. I also like to say, because we're going to look at it being like, they both have similar figure types. They both seem to be working out at the time, very fit. And I'd like to say, if you're not familiar, like, LL Cool J was popping before 50 and Ja. And I'd like to say that, if Ja Rule possibly was inspired by Tupac, putting crosses on her back, the bandana, all that stuff, I'd like to say that 50 was more inspired by LL Cool J than Ja Rule inspiring 50 to be what he is. Like, I don't think that's what happened. 50 took LL Cool J's physical features and rocked with it, especially after being shot and needing to be like a physical force from anyone that wanted to try to press you and continue on in the literal journey of trying to be like the head honcho of this rap stuff. And then also, I really think 50 likes KRS-One. I really think he liked the aggressive nature of KRS-One. I forgot where. I believe it was in some interview where KRS-One is sitting here saying how he's not going to rap battle with you to win or lose. Like, he's looking to end your career. That's what we saw with 50 throughout the history of beefs he's had. He's not here to sit here and be like, oh, this is fun, we're just playing around. When I say these words to you, it's cool, it's no big deal. Like, nah, 50's coming to end your career. And we saw that many times up until it started getting into that area where 50 was losing traction, fighting against Rick Ross and DJ Khaled and them. He started losing traction. People started liking Ross for his fake stuff he was spitting, even though he was a CEO. And it stopped being about, your raps being real and just, hey, if it sounds good, it sounds good. I say this all to say, I think Melle Mel, again, a lot of respect to him. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him and the many others that have set the game up for us. But I feel like he has this wrong. Now, I say this to also touch on him talking about how Ja Rule put out New York and how Jay-Z's song Empire State of Mind with Alicia Keys was doing well. I get what he's saying, but you have to think of the different times that we were in. Like, 50's hardcore attacking Ja Rule for these last couple years. Ja Rule mentions freaking Eminem's daughter in it. Eminem comes out. They destroy him with Hail Mary. Like, Ja Rule is pretty much in a position that Rick Ross would later see himself in, where he wishes he had everyone else's support to help him weather through this 50 Cent storm that's happening. But of course, the fans and the supporters stopped rocking with Ja and moved on to 50. If I'm not mistaken, back in 2004 is when New York came out. This had Fat Joe, I believe Jadakiss. And at that point, what are you going to do? At that point, we have Life on the Line, we have Wankster, we have Back Down. We have so many diss records that have come up and so many issues that have been stemming from Ja Rule and 50, Eminem jumping into the mix. Like, at this point, his career is kind of going down as 50's career is going up. I think out of all the people that 50 has dissed and attacked, he was looking for an in. What we loved about 50 is, again, touching back on the KRS point here. KRS-One had no issues with, essentially calling out and naming people. You have the historic line with KRS-One where he goes on to say, Manhattan keeps on making it, Brooklyn keeps on taking it, Bronx keeps on creating it, and Queens keeps on faking it. And I really think, again, this is from The Bridge Is Over with Boogie Down Productions. I really think 50 liked that. And as fans, we really liked the drama 50 was giving us. Power of the Dollar, Ghetto Quran, where he's giving us literally the insides of what's happening in his neighborhood. He's not liking Preem, he's not liking Fat Cat, he's not liking Jimmy Henchman later on when the whole game situation comes. And 50 lets it known. Like, there's no subliminals. He's literally saying people's names. I love 50. We're not getting it at this time in rap, but I love 50 at the end of a lot of his songs that, necessarily weren't on the album, but were on mixtapes, where you had him just going on long tangents. I love that. And just whoever he's talking about. When the beef was happening with Murder Inc., where, he's going on because Ja Rule, Black Child, is sitting here saying, like, he got an order of protection. Now, this came from the police issuing an order of protection on 50. It wasn't 50 doing it. The police did it on their own. And at the end of one of 50's songs, he's going, from who do I need an order of protection from? It's just very upfront, brazen, just in your face. Now, you weren't getting that from Ja Rule. I really think 50 sat here, took different things he saw from LL Cool J, KRS-One, I believe, who else was 50 really, like, rocking with at this time? The Juice Crew, EPMD, like, Big Daddy Kane. 50 essentially saw a lot of people that he was listening to, rocking with. He loved listening to Nas, Rakim, Big. Like, there's no Ja Rule influences, in my opinion. Now, I don't know if we'll ever hear 50's side of this. I would love for there to be, like, a literal, like, long documentary of 50's life from, like, the starting period of us knowing him, literally from like his first freestyle that went up a long time ago, up until like now, where I want to know the inside details of like how these like TV deals are happening, like just how that pivot came, doing the Vitamin Water, doing things like that. Obviously, if you're watching this and you got to this point, 50 stan, cool, super fan of 50, which leads me to lastly say and point out that I think Melle Mel, as great as he is and great things he contributed to hip hop, I really think that his views are from like a very older period of time. To say the things where you like Ja Rule is copying 50, I don't really understand that at all. They both were coming out around the same time. They both happened to be in the same area. I'm sure they knew of each other, but I really feel like Ja Rule was industry man, was cool with everyone. Fat Joe, Jadakiss, DMX, Rough Riders, all them people, like cool. You had Irv Gotti, Murder Inc. in the mix. They had their own clique, all that stuff. Was on his own commercial success. Ashanti, yeah. And then you had 50 coming in and being like, I'm hungry. I gotta get on. I gotta get out of the situation I'm in. I'm gonna find any way to make it happen. So I feel like it's less about copying what Ja Rule had, or 50 copying Ja Rule copying 50 or whatever. And it's a story about how you shouldn't feed into the trolls, because one day that troll is going to feed on you. Like, if you really think about it, Ja Rule fed into it. No one was there to back him up or save him. Like, yeah, you had Jadakiss making his diss records. You had Fat Joe coming in, supporting those people, Jadakiss and Ja. But at the end of the day, like, no one was looking for that attack, especially after you have Eminem coming off of the cannabis issues. You have Benzino in the mix. You just have so many things. And now you have Eminem jumping in with Hail Mary, and no one wants to mess with the white boy like that after seeing what he could do. I don't know. These are just my thoughts as I'm sitting here just looking at these videos that are coming out from Melle Mel and Ja Rule commenting on it. I doubt we're going to get 50 saying anything about it, about his side of the story. Of course, he's going to keep it silent, or maybe he'll drop a little Instagram meme for us to kind of make assumptions on. That's essentially my thoughts on the situation. Let me know yours. Do you feel like Ja Rule was actually copying 50, or 50 was copying Ja? What are your thoughts on, none of the two being even related outside of being in the same neighborhood, and 50 kind of being more inspired into LL Cool J's physical features because he needed to for the situation he was in. Plus, he saw what LL Cool J was doing as far as sex appeal. I don't know. A lot of thoughts in this one. As always, drop them all down below in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.